Hey, welcome back to my channel, Shaun Stevenson Books. I'm Shaun Stevenson, author of the Throne series, and today, today, we are talking about none other than R.L. Stine's Fear Street Halloween Party. Oh, this book! Okay, I just gotta say, I read this in pretty much one sitting because I couldn't stop reading and had to know what happened, so I kept going and going and going, and then it was just so good. This book was so good. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so here's my overall thought on Fear Street. This is my fourth Fear Street book I've read. At the recording of this video, I've read Ski Weekend, Thrill Club, The Boy Next Door, and now Halloween Party. And this series is not what I expected. I kind of expected more of like the Goosebumps level of supernatural things happening, and I did not expect as much the murder mystery aspect of these books. I just didn't think that was going to be a thing. I didn't really know anything about Fear Street going into them. This is my first experience reading them as an adult. I did not read them when I was younger, and so I'm really enjoying them. They just weren't quite what I expected, which was really interesting. Now, I've heard some other people talk about other Fear Street books and say that there are some with like vampires and different things like that, but these books I've read so far, except for one of them had like a slight supernatural element, the rest of them have just been pretty much straight up murder mysteries. The other fascinating thing to me about these books so far is that not only have they been murder mysteries, but they've been actually pretty light on gore and violence, lighter than I thought. I've actually thought there are some Murder, She Wrote episodes that are more intense than these books. Halloween Party was a little more intense than some of the other ones I've read. I think Thrill Club so far is the most intense of all the ones I've read, and The Boy Next Door was the most disturbing of the ones I've read. Ski Weekend was like a really eerie one. But Halloween Party has such a great atmosphere. The setting for this one is just right up there with every like gothic kind of ghost story you ever want. You've got a creepy mansion, you've got a cemetery right outside, you've got Halloween time with so it's all decorated for Halloween. You've got some great mystery going on. You have some wonderful characters that are all locked up in this mansion together when the murder happens. So you have a very interesting like, wait, who is this going to be? I really think this book does a great job with the misdirects and just keeping you guessing all the way up to the end. So what is this book about? So in this one, Nikki and Terry are boyfriend and girlfriend, and they are going to be going to a Halloween party, invited by a newer girl at school named Justine. And so Justine has invited 9 people to this party, and it's kind of an odd mix of people. And Nikki is wondering why these people. Not all of us are friends, and some of us don't get along at all. Some of us are like boyfriend and girlfriend situations, so there's some potential for awkwardness here. But so they all get invited to this Halloween party at Justine's house, which is a mansion. So they go to this mansion on Fear Street, and they're inside when all of these things start to happen. Soon there's a murder. Who is behind the murder? Who gets murdered? You'll never guess. It's a great, great mystery. So, Halloween Party. I think one of the strengths of this book is the way that R.L. Stine sets up quite a few characters, leaving you a lot of room to guess. Like, oh, is it this person? Oh, was it this person? Oh, could this person be behind it because they were kind of shady over here, but then that person's acting real nice, so are they the person? There's just so many great misdirects. I felt like this was masterfully written as a mystery. There's also some great plot twists near the end of this book. I think that some of the plot twists that come up near the very end are very organically unfolding, and there's enough teased that you find out throughout the book that you think, oh, well, that's an interesting new wrinkle. What does that mean? And it can lead you in a bunch of directions. There are a lot of great set pieces in this book, some just really great exploration of the mansion. And I think my favorite part of this book is in the middle, where they are doing a treasure hunt for some odd treasures that the main character Justine and her uncle Philip have collected from around the world. And so as they're walking around the mansion, like collecting these different treasures that are hidden all over the place, the characters come across some interesting things that lead them to wonder what's happening around here. So like I said, there's just a lot of great mystery in this one. You have some great character setups, and you have some great characterizations and character growth, which is not usual, in my opinion, for an R.L. Stine story. Usually R.L. Stine is all about those plots, all about the settings, all about a concept. Like usually R.L. Stine books, he comes up with a concept or a plot and kind of has characters just sort of thrown in. I would say a lot of his characters are just not very well developed, and he's even admitted in some interviews that he doesn't really think a lot about character development, because often you're just thinking in these books about the plot and the scares and the humor and the twists. Like that's kind of what he's thinking about. But this book had some great characterization and some great character development. Like I say, our main characters that we follow along, Terry and Nikki, they go through some things and they do change over time, and there's a lot for them to process through. And I really, really enjoyed that. The other thing that I would say about this book is it sets up some things really, really well. Like it's the kind of book that follows Alfred Hitchcock's rule of three, where it presents something to you 3 times, and at first you're kind of like, I don't know what that means. Second time you're like, wait, is this actually something that's important? And then the third time it clicks. And he does that quite a few times throughout this book in such a great way. The other thing, like I said, was the setting is perfect. There is a really creepy scene later on the roof of the mansion in the pouring down rain in a lightning storm with the cemetery in the distance, and there's all the shingles and the dormer windows on this mansion, and it was just so good. I thought, well, this is a wonderful scene. I love how it's written. I can just see it in my head. It was so great. I enjoyed it so much. R.L. Stine, I think, really outdid himself in this book. But here's the question. Is this my favorite Fear Street book? I don't know. I think that as far as Fear Street books, of the 4 that I've read as of the recording of this video, I think Thrill Club is still my favorite, just because of how shocking it was so many times throughout that book. This book is a tiny bit more of the slow burn through probably the first third, where you're piecing together some things and then boom, there's stuff that starts happening and you are just in for the ride. So this one had a little bit of a different sort of beginning. The other Fear Street books that I've read up to this point all had these just first chapters that were eerie and shocking, and this one is not as much of that. So I think it just does a really great job as far as setting up that tension and then snapping that rubber band of tension so quick that you just are racing through to the end. So Halloween Party, definitely a good one in the series. I would highly recommend it. There is a reason people love this one and talk about it quite a bit. Like I said, the ending has a great twist. I thought there was some great set pieces that happened, some good action scenes, some really tense, scary moments. Nothing too horrifying ever, but there's definitely some tense, scary moments. So, what do I rate Halloween Party? How many stars? Well, I think that I would give Halloween Party 4 out of 5 stars. This one was a really good one. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, but like I said, there was a couple things here and there. The slow burn at the beginning. I don't always love a slow burn. I kind of like to be hooked in with that mystery right at the beginning. But this one had that tiny bit of a slow burn, but it's not boring. It's not like a boring slow burn at all. It's just a little slow burn. If it didn't have that, I think I would have given it 5, but here we are with 4. Anyway, have you read Halloween Party? Have you read other Fear Street books? Which one should I read next? I have a few in my collection so far, and I'm looking for more of them. So if there's one that I need to read, please tell me in the comments below. So that's all for now. Until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye!